everyone, welcome back to another video, and today we're going to talk about what has been going on. So if you have been following the Chicago Marathon training series, you would have understood and have seen that there was a big gap and a big void in the video uploads. We're here today to talk about that. So I've written some notes, so if I look down, that is going to be why, and hopefully as well I will insert some of the footage that I have potentially got over these last few weeks. So you're probably thinking, or if you follow us on Instagram or TikTok, or if you follow us on Strava or you listen to the podcast, you will know that we are back in the UK. Now, why are we here? Why are we back in the UK? You may ask, and you may be wondering. And essentially, we were in Cyprus, that was the last destination, and we were due to fly out to Kenya. And without wanting to put too much out there on the internet, we had some news, which meant we had to make a decision, and it was family related, and it was just, we had to decide, do we continue with our travels and go to Kenya and be quite far away from home? And potentially if we needed to get back, would that be sensible to be all the way in Kenya? Or do we come home? Now, one of the things that we could have done was potentially stay in Cyprus. However, you can only stay in Cyprus for up to 90 days. And we were on the cusp of that. So that was our options. It was go to Kenya or come home. And we had a really tough, maybe 12 hours, maybe not even that, on having to decide what to do. And I spoke to some, James and I obviously spoke through everything. I spoke to some family and some friends at home, and we decided that the right decision was to come back to the UK. And now we're back. That was absolutely 100% the right decision to do. And it all just, things changed really quickly. So that was week 8 of training. Just to put it into context. And at the time also as well, we had finished 2 races at the weekend, and I had a bit of a niggle in my foot. And so coupled with all of this stress and not knowing what was going on with my foot, it was a really, really tough week. But we managed to make it home safely, and I was able to get in to see my physio and find out that it was not as bad as what I thought it was, and it was just a tendon issue. So we'll come on to training in a little bit. So the reason why we've come home is just because of family, and that is one of the hardest things about traveling. Now, I look back at pictures and videos of our travels, and I just think, wow, what an amazing experience we had, some places that we saw, that we visited, the cultures that we immersed ourselves in. We just had such a wonderful time, but also with being away has its huge drawbacks and disadvantages. And as much as you can say, there's FaceTime and there's phones and there's social media that you can communicate, sometimes just being around your friends and family, you can't beat that. And I always felt that distance and that gap whilst being away, which was one of the hardest things. So when we came home, it was at the time just going to be short term. We had future plans and future things, and then just a number of things happened in quite quick succession, and we just kind of thought we're actually just going to base ourselves in the UK for a little while longer. So at the moment we are not long-term traveling, and we've still got lots of things booked in and planned, but one of the reasons, some of the reasons why we decided to stay is that obviously, one, because of family and friends, and obviously that was most important over everything else. It just meant that we could actually do some races here in the UK now, because when we've been abroad, sometimes it is difficult to find races. Like, we've been in Cyprus this summer and there wasn't a lot going on because of the weather, which was also another reason, the cooler temperatures, because when you want to travel, you don't want to travel really to cold countries, but with that, makes it difficult and challenging for training. And so being back here, it just means that we can find a better routine with training. We can just find new routes or go back to routes that we're familiar with. We can set up routines with gyms and all things like that. So that was another reason. As well, it's meant that because we're back, we have got Harry and Lily back with us. So if you are a long-term follower, I don't know if they're around at the moment. I think they've both just gone out. I can see Lily in the garden. We have our wonderful cats back. So that's also been another reason. And a big thanks to James's sister and her family for looking after them whilst we've been away. So that's that in a nutshell. That doesn't mean that we're not still doing our trips and other things that we've got planned. So we are in a few weeks heading off to Chicago for the Chicago Marathon, and we will be in Valencia in December for Valencia Marathon, which James is doing. So that is that. And also we do at some point need to go back to Kenya because we had already paid for the accommodation up front. We do need to go back to Kenya and go back and do our trip there. So that will be at another time, but we'll figure that out when we need to. But for now, not short term, but we will be going back to Kenya because it's just an amazing experience. We definitely want to do that again. So now to give you a bit of a quick rundown on training and what we've been doing for this past month. So we were in Cyprus, we came back from Cyprus, and that was week 8. And like I said, I had a tendon issue in my foot, which I didn't know about until I'd gone to see my physio on Thursday or Friday of that week. And it just seemed like on one of the tempo runs that I'd done previously, I had just twisted or rolled my ankle slightly and it just kind of caused some inflammation in that area. So I had a lot of the week off. I did do a little bit of cross training, but I was also trying to rest and just try and figure out what was going on. I did manage to get a park run in on the Saturday though of that week. So that week was only 4 miles. Now week 9, I tried to balance things out with cross training. I did get 4 runs in, 2 lots of 1 hour easy. It's Monday. We are 9 weeks away from Chicago and I'm out for an hour's run. Almost done because we are definitely not in Kenya right now. We're actually back in the UK. Yeah, I won't dwell on that fact because it's for important reasons, and if anything, there will be many benefits for us being at home. One being no altitude and cooler weather, although it's set to be the hottest day of the year so far. So here in the UK, so I've come out early, I think it's about 18 or 19 degrees, but I've got about 5 minutes left, so I'm almost done. Time to find some normality this week. And then a session, which was 2 by 20 minutes at marathon pace. Well, I say marathon pace, a tempo effort. Okay, it's quite noisy where I am, but it's now Friday. Yesterday was Thursday and a rest day. I've been in London spending some time with family. And then today on the plan we have 2 by 20 minutes. I've just done the first one, so warm up and drills. That was just under 2 miles, and then the first 20-minute block was, yeah, good. I'm working. I don't know if it's just because I feel a little unfit because of the time off. In terms of like heat acclimatization, it feels great. Like I don't feel completely depleted like I was in Cyprus. But yeah, I'm having to work for it as well. So yeah, 3 minutes recovery, 2 minutes down already, and then second set. But yeah, like I'm enjoying the work today, and this is what I wanted to do. My glasses are all fogging up, so yeah, let's get our breath back, get ready for set 2. And then finish the week off with 14 miles long run. And before that, it was like just trying to, with my foot, it was like, right, just take it steady. And the aim was like 90 minutes to 2 hours, and I managed 14 miles, so that was all good. Then we moved on to week 10 and stepped it up again slightly. So I was back at the track. I did a 10 by 500 session, which was good. 45 minutes easy. This didn't feel so good. That was the day after. I started to struggle with my leg just didn't feel very free on that side. I then did a 40 minutes sort of tempo, a park run and a 16-mile long run. So all in all, that was a good week. However, like I said, that week there just didn't feel something right with, it was the same leg, something just didn't feel right. Then we go on to week 11. Now this is the week where there was a lot of change. This was the week that we moved. I had a good track session. I had 2 easy runs, which were okay. I did a park run and then I did a 20-mile session with some paces in. We'd moved 2 days previous, and great mileage, great time on feet. The pacing was just not there. I just couldn't hit it, and I just blamed it on the fact that we'd moved and we'd just been tired and busy, and everyone knows what it's like when you move. It's just a lot, and also coupled with there'd been a lot of stress on me personally, just with what has been going on. And I now look back on it and I definitely think this has had a huge impact on my body. And so just putting it out there, if you are going through a stressful time, try not to push through training if there's something telling you that it's not right. I don't regret pushing like I did, but it just makes sense now what has happened is because of all of this. So after the 20-mile run, I literally my right leg just did not want to function. So I was trying to cross train through that week. I went to go and see my physio again on the Friday, and he was quite hopeful and put it down to the fact that there was a trapped nerve in my back because of all of the symptoms that I've been telling him. He just thinks that it was a trapped nerve in my back. And straight away my leg felt good, and he was like, right, do a hop test and you can run over the weekend. I was due to do the Bedford 20. He was like, I'd probably recommend dropping down to the half if you can. But then I woke up on Saturday and something just didn't feel right in my ankle, and I was like, there's just no way that I'd be able to go and run a park run or a half marathon this weekend. It's just not happening. So I didn't do too much. Then week 13, furiously training on the cross trainer, and cross training in general. Like, I was in the gym 7 times in 7 days. I had 1 rest day, but that meant I went to the gym twice in 1 day. And I did some easy cross training. I did some cross trainer intervals. Wow, that was an experience. I did some swimming. I did another cross training session. I did a bike session. And then on the Sunday, I managed 2 hours of like aerobic work. And I did an hour on the cross trainer and an hour on the bike. And I spent a lot of time on the bike over that weekend. So I tried to do as much on the cross trainer before jumping on the bike, because I was like, I can't sit for any longer. So I think I worked it out. I did probably as much cross training, or if not more cross training in terms of hours, than I would have done running. So that was an achievement. And I did an hour on the cross trainer, which is a huge epic PB for a cross trainer for me. Normally, I've mentioned this before, maybe on the podcast. After half an hour, my left foot goes numb on the cross trainer, and it must just be down to the placement of my feet in the sort of cross trainer steps. But like I said on Sunday, I was like, I didn't want to face any more time on the bike than I needed to. So after half an hour, my foot went numb. Not numb to the point where I couldn't feel it. It just was going like pins and needly numb. And it didn't get any worse, so I carried on for a whole hour. And big thanks to Emily in Paris for keeping me in company for the cross training over that time, because that certainly helped me get through. But we've started to record this week's training, and we're back running again, which is awesome. And James's training is going really well. So we'll just caveat everything that I've just said, and James's training is going well. So that's all good. So I've been a nightmare. Things haven't gone to plan. But the main thing is that I've been doing as much as I can around that to make sure I'm as fit as I can be. I don't think that Chicago is going to be anything incredible in terms of time for me now. Nothing groundbreaking. However, Chicago Marathon, it's fast, it's flat, it's amazing. The crowds are meant to be so incredible. And so I want to just go and enjoy that as much as possible without the pressure, hopefully. The only pressure now is just living getting around the course, not running it in a certain time. But we've got so many amazing people from the Running Hub being there, and I don't want to be worried about completing it in a time or getting myself down. Now I can just hopefully just go and enjoy the whole week or weekend and just make the most of it. So that's where we're at. I'm still just going to train as much as in whatever capacity I can to put myself in the best position possible. Now, I'll probably sound really positive right now, but if we flip back to like 2 weeks ago, I wanted to shot my ankle off, my leg off. It's been a rough month or so, but hopefully we are on the other side of this and I can come back stronger and just go and do Chicago and do myself justice as much as I can. So that's the update. Short recap, we're back in the UK, we're here for a little while. I don't know how long that while is, but it might be forever, who knows? But we are still doing Chicago Marathon, we'll both be there, and we're going to be in Valencia at the end of the year. And then we can focus on what 2025 looks like after that. Thanks for sticking with it, and I promise videos will be coming out weekly from now, leading up to race day. I really want to cover everything, or as much as possible, going into this. So yeah, thank you for sticking with us, and I'll see you in the next video.